Hey, how's it going? How you guys doing? It's Roger Burrows here from Source My Property. I have discovered a really incredible tool that I think it's worth sharing with everyone. I've pretty much been running my whole property business using this tool, and it's completely free. I know how hard it is to track all the properties you're viewing with all the spreadsheets and everything you've got going on. So I've found a place to consolidate that all in one so you can completely manipulate to run how you want it to run. And I've shared a link at the end of this video at the bottom so that you can actually get the template that I've designed, because the templates, I've designed it myself for my property business, and I'm going to share it with you guys. And it's a piece of software called Airtable. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see what I'm using. And this is what it looks like. This is Airtable. Here you can see all my property projects that I have under tracking, and my business as well. So what I've done here is I've designed little templates. And as you can see on Airtable, you do have hundreds of templates to choose from to start your little your tracking. And it can be anything from blog editorial templates to indie film production, art galleries, event marketing, conference planning. You've got local business templates, you've got HR templates, you've got project management. And my template that I designed for my property business is something that I use from a project management template, and then also pulling in some information from other ones like how to use a calendar and stuff. So this is the template. I'm going to show you one that I've made for everyone to share, and it's called My Property Business Template. And this is what it looks like to start with. So you've got tabs along across the top. Over here, we've got our contacts tab, and this is everyone that you meet in your property business. Trust me, put them in the contacts tab. Every single person you meet, whether they're a buyer, whether they're a seller, solicitor, agent, broker, anyone, power team members, builders, plumbers, everyone, put them in here. Because the beauty is, say for example, I wanted to add my broker. So I will put my broker's name in there. And the next tab over, I will say that select that it is my broker. So if you don't have, I'll show you how easy this is to manipulate. For example, okay, there's my broker, and I've selected her and put her in, put a number in, put her email in, blah, blah, blah. And then say, this is how easy the sheet is to manipulate. Let me see something that maybe isn't in the sheet to put in. So maybe, let's look. I can't see. I see painter, decorator, builder. Let's just call it. So plumber in there. Yeah, plumber and heating is there. Okay, let's just say. Let's say James, a guy I just met, is a plumber, and it wasn't on the list. I can just type plumber there, and it creates a tab for it. So now that plumber tab is always selectable. That's how easy these sheets are to manipulate. I can put his details in there and blah, blah, blah. So that's the contacts tab. The next tab I got across the top is listings. This tab is all the properties that you're looking at on the market at the moment. Now, these are just a template. These properties don't really exist. So these are just property templates of kind of what's going on at the moment. And just so you guys can have something to work towards. But I'm going to use an example in a bit just to show you the more tabs. And on the top, we've got activities tab. And this is beautiful because you can drop it down to a calendar view. So you can see when you've got viewings on. I'll show you how to populate that too. And you can also actually auto-link that to your phone calendars. So you can always keep up to date with what viewings you've got on. I've got a clients tab of people that I'm kind of working with through the property. And then I've got a deals tab when you've got a property that's accepted and you move it through to the deal stage so you can track it through there. I've got a little tab to track some potential investors. If you've got some investors that might be interested in your business, so how to stay in contact with them. And then most importantly, this tab at the end, which is really useful, I'll show you why in a minute, is called our refurbishment calculator. Every cost that I've come across in my property business, I've recorded in here. And that means when I'm walking around properties, I can quickly do quotes on how much it's going to take to refurb. And I'll show you how to use that in just a second. But basically, I've spent some time putting in every cost that I've come across in my property business so far over the last year or so. And this will be completely different from area to area. But you can use this at the minute to kind of get an idea for what things might cost. But it would be completely different for you as you come across things that you pay for, you can adjust those in this table to suit your area and what you can get things for at different prices. I'm sure a lot of you can do things a bit cheaper maybe than I can. So let's have a look how we get started. Say you are busy cruising Rightmove and you say, oh, that is a great property. I want to go and view it. Oh, doesn't that property look amazing? So I'm going to put it across to my listings. First things I'm going to do is I'm going to get the address. I might actually say I want to get the agent in the contacts first. So let's copy that number and go across to contacts. We know that that is Hart in Newport, and they are a listing agent. That is their telephone number, so and so. Okay, so I ring that agent. Hello on the phone. Yes, I'd like to go and view your property. Thank you very much. I'm now then going to, once I've set up that viewing with the agent, put that property onto my listings. So when you're on the agent on the phone, obviously you'll get the full address of that from the agent on the phone. And when you put in the listing of the property you're going to see, you then start populating the rest of this table. And you've got things, the price it's currently, what listing status is at the moment. So the property is currently on the market. Your next step, what you have to do to that property is you have to go and view it. And the source, where did that property come from? Because you want to start tracking statistics in your property business if you're really growing. So it came from an agent. And then who is the vendor? Who is the agent? And you'll remember I just put in the agent in our contacts tab. So if I come over here and I type in Hart, it's going to find that agent that I just put in, and I can link it to that listing. I can write here the asking price is £125,000. I can see from doing some good market statistics, looking at this one, looking at market info on Rightmove, I can see this property was sold on 23rd of June 2017 for £75,000. So it's obviously been bought by an investor and done up really nicely. So maybe not a below market value property, but you can see it's been recently refurbished. Let's look at some recent sales: £115,000, £129,000, and so on, 115, 124, and so on and so on and so on. So it's probably looking like it's already at top market value, that property. So the top market value of the property is currently being sold at that. And then these tabs here for you to track in when you put in your when you do your figures on your property. So for example, you want to track what you're currently offering, what your maximum offer will be, what your refurbishment costs are going to be, what your flip profit will be, what your rental income is, what your cash flow. So you can record all those statistics against every single property. Now, I want to show you the magic of why I love using Airtable so much. And that's because of this little activities pane, or the diary. So I'm going to go back to that listing that I just created. And in that listing, what I've done here is I've put a link folder in here, and it's this one here, activities, right down at the end. And under that listing for the one I've just created, I'm going to create that viewing that I just secured with the agent. So I'm going to press yes there. I'm going to select to add a new record there. And what that does is it opens up a little new window. And this is where you populate all the information you've already put into your table. So the related contact, as we know, we've already put that in, is Hart in Newport. The date and time, let's say for argument's sake, it's going to be tomorrow, and the meeting is going to be at, let's put it for 9 a.m. tomorrow. The activity type is going to be a viewing. And here you can select lots of things. So you can remind yourself to call someone, to email someone, an in-person meeting, to write a letter, to follow up, to request the change, to send a text message, to go to a different action, to build quote, to Skype. And you can add in, remember, like I said, you can actually add in your own things you want there as you go along. But this one's just a viewing. This one is the activity owner. The reason I put this spreadsheet is because in my property business, there's about 7 of us using the same spreadsheet. So we can assign a person to reviewing. So in this case, I'm going to select myself. And then it links to the listing there in the activity. And the rest of this information is to be used when you're on the viewing itself. And I'll show you how that magic happens in just a second. So I can close that, and I've created that activity there under the activities pane. Now, If I go across to the activities tab, what you will see is we will jump onto jump to today, and you'll see there's today. What I've done is there's the viewing now in the calendar. Okay, so you can see it's in the calendar, viewing Hart Newport. I can expand that record and see all the information I've just put in. I can see it's with Hart, the date, the time, and so on. But now I want to show you some even more magic. I'm going to share my phone screen with you now and show you some very awesome stuff over here. So here you can see in the bottom right, I've got my Airtable app. If I go on that application and I go into the spreadsheet that I've just been showing you guys, which is my property business template right over there. And I can then go onto that activities pane, and you can see that comes up on that activity is that listing. I can also go straight to the listings. So say I had thousands of listings on here, which I do on my actual spreadsheet. I've got thousands of listings. I can just search for that listing. I know it was Walsall Street and it comes straight up. I can select it. Then through that listing, I can see, oh, okay, there's the vendor it's with Hart. There's the asking price, all the information I put in my phone or my app earlier. And right down at the bottom, there's activities. So say you are on the viewing itself now, you can go onto that activity and use this while you're walking through the property. And let me show you what I mean by that. Here is that link to the refurbishment calculator. So the first thing I'm going to do when I'm in a property, and why this is so valuable, is sometimes the agent might not turn up on time. You can quickly access their phone number and you can give them a call straight from the application. And just going to go back this page. And then when you're on site, you can click yes that you completed that viewing. So it takes it off your diary. You can take notes while you're walking around, like agent was bell end, and so on. You can take in whatever notes you want, and then that'll save those in your notes against that listing. And then this is the beauty, what I like to do is the refurbishments required. While you are walking around the property, you can type in, it needs a new kitchen. Okay, this one's going to need a medium-sized kitchen. You can also type in that it needs a complete boiler conversion. Say it's got an old back boiler, needs a new boiler conversion. Let's see, just a standard conversion, swapping out the boilers, no need for any radiator work. And then obviously every property needs to be painted and decorated. So let's say it's a 3-bed property, painted and decorated 3-bed property. That's what it roughly costs me. And then let's say, oh, okay, yeah, we're getting down to tiles in the bathroom and so on. And then what I've done is the best way I've found to cost a project is that's the cost of those things. But when it comes down to actual building costs, I do it by time that my 4-man team would spend on site. So this is going to be, say it's going to be a 3-week project for 4 men. That's how long it would take them, because I know kind of roughly how long things take, and I find that's the best way to calculate my refurbs. So I'm going to go type in my 3-week for a 4-man team is going to cost me £9,074. That's not just in labor. There's a mathematical equation in there. In Wales, I know exactly how much labor I pay my boys a week. And then the formula that we use is plus 30% will work out to be build of merchant materials. And we're coming in really quite accurately on that. So that's why I use that time. But that's my own refurbishment calculator. You can put in whatever costs you want into your refurbishment calculator, obviously. And then the beauty is right at the end, see at the bottom, it spits out a number. So you can say that that's all it used for. And it spits out a number that your refurb costs in this one. If I had to do all of that, if I had to have 4 men on site for 3 weeks, tile the bathroom, paint and decorate the 3-bed, combi boiler standard conversion, kitchen, a medium kitchen put in, and probably in that 3 weeks, I'd have all the walls hacked off, reskinned, replastered, maybe move some walls around, and a bit of, depending on what you do, kind of where I get my 3-week for 4-man team come in, and I get my number. And then while I'm still on the viewing, this is what I love about this app is I can just tap the picture icon there, and I can take pictures while I am walking around the property and save them straight onto that listing. So that way, when you get back later, you don't have a camera roll full of pictures from 6 viewings you did that day, and you don't know which property was which video or which property was which picture. This way, they are saved against that viewing. So you can just say like, okay, yeah, this is absolutely rubbish. Just take another picture of that over there. Use photo, and it just loads it straight onto that listing. So later on, when you go back, it's just super, super handy to have it all in one spot. So that is how to use the little app as well. And it's absolutely amazing that you can use it. I'm going to jump back to showing you the screen so you can see when you get back onto your laptop later on in the evening. If you wanted to do some work on that property, you could go back to the viewing that you just had onto the listing, expand the record. And you can see that what's now come through is all of your pictures that you took while you're on site that day and all of your refurbs that are required as well. And you can have this, if I drop back to the listings tab, you can have thousands of listings in this. And what is so cool is that you can filter these to however you want as well. You can filter them to say, let's just group them rather. Let's group the field by their listing status. And what I've done there is I've grouped everything. So all the properties that are currently on the market are grouped together, all the ones that the bidding is in progress, all the ones that are subject to contract are together, all the ones that I need to offer on together, all the ones that I still need to view are together. And you can very quickly find out what you're looking for just by changing all these settings. And then if you go into your activities tab, the magic part here is you've got this little button at the top over here where you can create shareable calendar view links. So what you can do is you can create that link, add it to your iCal or your Google Calendar settings, and you can have this calendar appear on your phone. So, which is great for me because I wake up in the mornings, first thing I do is check my calendar, see what I've got on that day. I can do it straight from my phone, and it will also remind you that I've got viewings at certain times. So this is completely free. So isn't that pretty cool? What I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link to this video or to this table underneath this video so that you guys can use this template. Please, when you do access this template, don't use the actual template. Make a copy, make a duplicate, because otherwise I'll have to recreate this every time for everyone. So please, when you get your Airtable access, make a duplicate of this, this template. And you do that by going like this. I'll show you. You go back to the main screen. On the little arrow on the bottom of the template, there's a little drop-down arrow, and you can select duplicate base. And if you select that, it'll duplicate that. And then also no one else will be able to obviously see it, because if you start storing your stuff in My Property Business template, all of us will be able to see what you're up to and we can steal your deals, but we won't. But yeah, hopefully that's really valuable to you guys. And it's something that you can use to go on and create an awesome way to track your property business. What I have done is I've gone on to use these templates to actually track projects. So you can see on this project that we've done, I've got a spend, I've got a task tab to keep track of all the tasks that we were doing as a collective team on the project. I've got a schedule of works tab so we can work through the schedule of works and see who's responsible for what part. I've got a spend tracker. And what's beautiful about the spend tracker is you can see everything broken down. So I can quickly group this by expense. Now let's type it by type. And then I can quickly see that on this project, the legal costs were £1,346. The contractor cost was 12,000. The material cost was 6,000. And the waste cost was 5,015. So you can quickly see like how things break down. You can also store all of your receipts against the contractors. So for example, my boiler and rads, I've got a receipt over there for how much things cost me, and so on. So just right up against the viewing. So I just got it all in one place. I'll also make a duplicate of a property project tracker so that you can actually track the project when you've got hold of it as well. And this link will be below. I will make a duplicate for that, guys, for you as well. So hopefully that's really useful, a free tool that everyone can use. And I hope you guys get the best out of it, and I will catch up with you pretty soon. Thanks for tuning in and just having a look at what we're up to. And I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.